I need to be precise so that people who view this content or read this document don't come away with implications or inferences that I'm not intending. Inferences that I might find as inappropriate, which would be like going in the guru direction. What actually puts you on the Gurometer? Is it getting people to like do stuff that would, I don't know, financially serve you? I think that this document's pretty clear in terms of like what power people have, like what freedom each person has. Yeah, and then it's just going to be a bunch of tools. It's going to be a bunch of tools to help you out. So I think we would score pretty low in the Gurometer because we think about concepts through the idea of norms. It means that we can always think about what we say in the document and on this channel as things that we're allowed to say or not allowed to say. So that means that we have to be precise about how much conviction we have towards something, whether something is certain or certain in like a scientific way of talking, or certain, in an ontological way, or whether we're talking what is possible versus plausible, and being precise about what context we're in and talking about in that sense as well. Yes, the classic cult of personality. Haha. I mean, we should always keep open the option of making this a cult. I mean, like, we can't close that door, but yeah, I'm trying to just follow the path of like what we're allowed to say and what we're not allowed to say. Like what our science and neuroscience does tell us or allow us to say, right? Because a lot of these are interpretations. Like homeostasis is an interpretive framework. Like it's not like when you look at the physical world, like if you were to study physics, like homeostasis is something that just screams out at you. Like it's a way we interpret really complex stuff, and the interpretation of homeostasis is grounded in a lot of science that Damasio has done. Granted, there's an argument to be made that it's not like you can never get to 100% certainty when you're dealing with science, but you could get to a point where you are very much allowed to say that that is a very well grounded and evidenced framework. Oh, what does this Gurometer have 13 or more standards of evaluation? Does it really? All right, what are the standards? Let's figure this out. What are the we should do a day of the Gurometer. What are the 13 standards of evaluation for the Gurometer? We should also put the document in and see where the document would. Oh, this is fun stuff. I couldn't locate a reliable source listing 13. Okay. For the Gurometer used by the podcast Decoding the Guru. What is clear from available materials is it's described as a checklist of traits or red flags. In one episode, they say it's composed of 10 key characteristics of gurosity. A summary list. Okay, let's do it. Galaxy Brainness. All right, the evaluation framework used by the Decoding the Gurus podcast to assess guru-like public intellectuals or influencers. These traits aim to measure patterns of rhetoric, epistemic behavior, and audience manipulation. Nice. This describes a guru's tendency to make extremely abstract, grand, or metaphysical claims, often connecting wildly unrelated domains into a sweeping, pseudo-coherent worldview. It signals overconfidence and intellectual overreach. So this is the thing I've been this entire stream been trying to caution us against. Like we need to be very careful about the context with which we're talking. Yeah, a good example was when I was talking about energy earlier. When we talk about energy in terms of physics, we can't say that that's the same energy that we feel like when we're talking about our conscious experience, or the energy of someone who's charismatic, etc., or the good energy the universe gives us. Like these are different things. It would be inappropriate for us to make those the same thing or try to purport that they're the same thing. Cultishness measures how much a guru fosters a devoted in-group that treats them as a quasi-prophetic authority. So this one's on you guys. You can't do this. You're not allowed to do this, or else we're going to score too highly. This includes discouraging dissent, creating insider vocabulary, and promoting a sense of us versus them. Okay. So I think we're going to be actually pretty chill on this one, because I think we're not going to go for this. Like the whole point of what we tried to do is be accessible. So we want to be accessible. We want to use intuitive language. The whole idea is we should be able to communicate these ideas to anyone, promoting a sense of us versus them. Now, despite the fact that I say we all the time, I try to make that so that it's a we as in like all the viewers can feel like they're we, not like there's only the in-group. And then, yeah, we don't want to discourage dissent. We want to take it head on. Anti-establishmentarianism often positions themselves as brave truth tellers defying corrupt institutions. I'm genuinely scared of the truth-telling aspect of this position that I'm in, where the idea that that truth is ontologically related to consciousness is very controversial, even to like materialists like a Sam Harris type. Like he would not like that type of speak, even though I think it is an important thing to say in the context of these philosophical discussions, because these discussions can reveal so much about how we understand and experience the world. But when we're in like a different context where we're talking about truth as in like the colloquial version of truth, then we ought not like die on the hill, the philosophical hill. Like we should probably use whatever language is being inferred by other people. While skepticism can be healthy, this often slides into wholesale rejection of legitimate expertise. Okay, on this channel, we are pro expertise. We are pro mainstream. I don't know. It depends what we mean by mainstream media. Mainstream media is actually, we're a little more skeptical of mainstream media, but we're pro academia, and there's many systems that we are pro of for sure. We could do a whole video on that. All right, grievance mongering. Many gurus build a brand on shared resentment, portraying themselves and followers as victims of censorship, political correctness, and conspiracies. I think this is just one of those things that we're going to steer clear from. Narcissism, self-aggrandizement, refers to excessive self-promotion or portraying oneself as uniquely insightful, persecuted, or misunderstood. Yeah, no, we should be chill with this one. Yeah, it should always be like our first idea that if critics don't get it, that there was like a failure on our end to communicate precisely enough. That said, if we have done a good job, or like if we feel like we've done a good job of being as precise as we possibly can while being accessible, then like I think that we just have to accept a certain level of error. Like there's going to be just people that either just don't understand it or are perhaps entrenched in a different belief system. Yeah. That's fine. There's nothing special about one interpretation. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that, because one of our premises is like we can evaluate interpretations based on how pragmatically effective they are at being accessible, so that like people are compelled by them, but also being practical so that they can be leveraged. And that's kind of the whole point of this document. So what's special is that it's perhaps just the fact that we are, working towards something that is practical. But obviously, how we got here is completely contingent. What do we got? Cassandra complex. Gurus frequently warn of impending catastrophe that only they will foresee. All right, so this I didn't ever think about doing, but we should just do this for fun. Like, this is just a fun bit. Societal collapse. Actually, you know what? Whenever we talk about AI, I am pretty doomer. But that's completely unrelated to other stuff we do. All right, revolutionary theories. They often claim to have discovered a paradigm-shifting idea that overturns conventional wisdom across multiple fields. Now, this is the one thing that I will buy into. I do think that this is like specifically just part one. Part one stuff, I think, is kind of revolutionary in philosophy. It, in some sense, demolishes the previous practice of purporting that the world is a certain way. Like, it points out how we can think about the world in many different ways, and to make the point that the world is a certain way, especially in some like philosophical rule set that's rather abstract or opinionated, like that would be inappropriate. So yeah, it's destructive in that way, but then it's also, I feel like, constructive of how we ought to do philosophy. Like it's almost pointing out that, hey, like when you make a philosophical framework, you have to point out that this is a philosophical framework among many that you could do, like, and what makes yours more valid than others. And that's like the argument that you have to like make, but it's probably not valid. It's like, what does your framework provide that others don't do? Because at the end of the day, people are going to just infer different things from different frameworks. They're going to either understand it or not understand it. They're going to infer how to do things in their own lives based on that. They're going to infer different connections with other things they've learned previously. That's why it's so beneficial to ground a philosophy in science, because a lot of people can easily ground that stuff in stuff they know, stuff that they could trust. We also ground this in intuition. So we want this to be phenomenologically salient. I don't think that what we're purporting in this document is like portrayed as ignored or suppressed by the establishment. Like, none of the stuff that we point out is like really novel. It's really just piecing a bunch of things together and pointing out logical implications as we see them. All right, pseudo-profound bullshit measures how often they use vague or grandiloquent. Come on, this has to be pseudo-profound bullshit, this word. Language that sounds deep but lacks clear meaning. It's common in self-help, spirituality, and techno-mysticism circles. All right, we're going to be pretty chill with this one. I don't think we're going to be getting into that realm. Conspiracy mongering. Gurus often connect unrelated phenomena into intentional malevolent plots. All right, we should be good there. Grifting, monetization. I think we should be chill. We're going to keep this thing free. And even though I think I do want avenues for monetization so that I could work on this stuff all day and not have to go to my regular job, I'm going to try to make anything that's like actually important for people to like use. The general philosophy for monetization for this channel is going to be all the helpful information should be free. And then all the, like, I want to make it so that only people who are excited to contribute to the community are needing to contribute. It shouldn't be the case that if someone wants to, you know, read the document that they have to buy something. Okay, I think we should do well. I think we should be chilling. But I think another day we should definitely ask Gemini where it would put us in the Gurometer. Don't question it, my king. Oh no, that's you're gonna get us on the Gurometer with that language. if imagine everyone hops on and they're all just like, my king, good morning. I think we're done for. Even though that would be a pretty good bit if it was specifically just to get high on the Gurometer. But that also goes into the inside jokes. So, you know, I think that would scare people away. Even though I think the bit would be funny, I think it would be detrimental to the community at large.